Monday, the Supreme Court reconvenes minus one justice. How the Bork controversy leaves the court short its swing vote. Monday, watch ABC's World News Tonight with Peter Jennings.
I'm Mike Binkley. Next on the Eyewitness News Update, St. Paul police have identified the body of a man discovered near the Mississippi River. We'll have the story on that and on a tragedy in Lino Lakes. 2 young children died in a fire there this morning.
The temperature is dropping, but not as low as last night. I'll have the first forecast for you tonight.
In sports, the Gophers keep it perfect. The Twins, well, bring on the playoffs.
All that, plus Jason Davis goes on the road again with an unusual dance line from Duluth that's right in step. Join us next for the Eyewitness News Update.
Eagle Drugstores present their fall season premiere, featuring spectacular savings on Unicap M Advanced Formula Multivitamin with Minerals, $4.99. 6 1/2 ounce Kerry Lotion with refillable 2 ounce per size, only $3.19. A 4-pack of General Electric soft white light bulbs, 60, 75, or 100 watts, just $1.99. Eagle Drug, your ticket to fall savings. See the yellow pages for the Eagle Drug Store nearest you.
Well, fans, it all comes down to this moment. This is where it all gets decided. Johnson steps in, checks the signs, makes a few adjustments. This is a classic confrontation. He's digging in. Here's the delivery. And there it goes. He's going back, way back. It is going. It is gone.
Pepsi, the choice of a new generation.
The ball game's over.
Songs to sing along with. From the Light FM, FM 103, WLTE. Listen to the Light FM at work all day, at home to take it easy, in the car to unwind, at night and on weekends to relax with the family and friends. Here's how we do it. No boring, sleepy strings. No elevator music. No blast of rock. Just hour after hour of songs to sing along with on the Light FM 103 WLTE.
You're watching KSTP-TV, Minnesota's News Channel 5. Live from Minnesota's News Channel, KSTP Channel 5, Mike Binkley, Karen Falloon, and Mark Stevens bring you the Eyewitness News Update.
Good evening. Tonight, Ramsey County officials are trying to contact the relatives of a man found dead near the Mississippi River in St. Paul. Authorities have tentatively identified the 20-year-old man, but haven't released his name yet. St. Paul homicide detectives began working on the case after 2 boys discovered the body near the base of a steep cliff. A medical examiner spokesman told Eyewitness News Tonight they can't say what killed the man until an autopsy is performed tomorrow. Authorities aren't certain tonight why 4 men were in a canoe out on Lake Moore before sunrise this morning. The canoe flipped over and one of them drowned. The victim was 25-year-old Stephen Skoglund of St. Paul. Anoka County authorities say he and 2 friends tried to swim to shore. The 4th man stayed with the canoe. Skoglund drowned while the others made it to shore. A fire that killed 2 little boys in Lino Lakes is tonight raising several questions, not only of what caused the fire, but also how safe was the place where they were staying. A mother and her 2 young sons had been staying under the type of camper top you see on the backs of pickup trucks. No heat on a night when we set a record low. And they were in a backyard just a few feet away from the mother's parents' house. This morning, the mother, Mary Blaylock, left a short time before the fire started.
She had gone out to get something to eat.
She came back up the driveway and...
Right, and that's when she said, my babies.
Officials carried out the bodies of 18-month-old Sean Blaylock and 3-year-old Luke Cook on the same stretcher. About the same time, their mother was being rushed to a hospital in shock. Investigators haven't determined the cause of the fire yet, but the children may have set it themselves.
There has been an indication that candles were in the topper, and that the topper also contained matches. Whether or not the candles were lit, I do not know, or whether or not the matches were available to the children, I do not know.
That should become clearer as this next week starts. Sheriff's investigators will also be checking inspection records over the question of housing codes. One officer told us that city inspectors had been out here once before, but the records of what they found won't be available before Monday. Neighbors had no idea anyone was staying in that backyard. They had called the fire department on what they thought was a grass and trash fire. It wasn't until the mother came back that firefighters themselves realized that someone had been inside the camper top. A man who was committed to the state mental hospital at St. Peter for murder is still on the loose tonight. He escaped from the Nicollet County facility last night with a friend. The pair put pillows under their blankets to create the impression among guards that they were sleeping. Authorities say they've received some tips, but none has panned out yet. A woman and her daughter are suing over the death of a man at Hennepin County Medical Center. In the suit, they claim that Jesus Hernandez was choked to death by security guards at the hospital's Crisis Intervention Center. The medical examiner did rule that his death was caused by choking, but a grand jury decided there was no evidence to indict the guards. The civil suit asked for $650,000 in damages. The guards tried to subdue Hernandez when police took him to the center. Now here's a look at world news tonight. The official Chinese news service is reporting tonight that 6 people have died in Tibet during pro-independence demonstrations. The Tibetans are rioting against Chinese rule. Witnesses say police fired automatic weapons on thousands of demonstrators. In this country, President Reagan lashed out at opponents of Judge Robert Bork's nomination to the Supreme Court.
Judge Bork deserves a careful, highly civil examination of his record, but he has been subjected to a constant litany of character assassination and intentional misrepresentation.
The president also said during his weekly radio address that special interest groups are trying to control the court. In the Persian Gulf, Saudi fighter jets chased off some Iranian ships that were steaming toward a key Gulf oil terminal. The Saudis called their part a precautionary measure. The Iranians claimed to be on a training exercise. A state of emergency is in effect in the Los Angeles area. The governor made the declaration so earthquake victims could take advantage of low-interest loans. The damage toll has now risen to $80 million. And cleanup operations continue tonight at Colorado's only nuclear power plant. Fire roared through part of it earlier today. No one was hurt and no radiation escaped. In Australia today, hundreds of thousands of people lined the streets to welcome back Australia's Vietnam veterans. Yes, they had come home long before, but had never had a formal parade like today's. The Aussie vets were joined in the parade by vets from the U.S., New Zealand, and South Korea. Today's parade was patterned after several held last year for American Vietnam vets in New York. Well, if you were ever in the military, you're probably familiar with K-rations. The man who invented them while at the University of Minnesota has just died. Chemical engineer Edgar Perret developed the process to make the quick-dried, lightweight, portable food supplies in the late 1930s. Perret died in Cambridge, Massachusetts. He was 77. Life along Fraternity Row on the University of Minnesota campus will have to change. That's because university officials want to put an end to parties like this one. The U has released a new set of guidelines for members of the Greek organizations on campus. They include setting academic requirements for each chapter, making sure that traditional porch parties become a thing of the past.
No question, we're asking them to do things differently from how they did it before. But I don't think any of the requirements are unreasonable, and I don't think most of the Greeks think they're unreasonable either.
Some members of Greek organizations say the letter they received from university officials didn't help them in resolving any of the problems.
The thing that I didn't like about the letter, and most of the other Greek system did not like, was the fact that all he did was tell us what our problems were and said, take care of them. And he didn't say, we are encouraging you to correct this, and we have some ideas on how you can correct these problems that you have.
The new university requirements give fraternities and sororities 2 years to come into compliance. If they don't, the university could withdraw support of those organizations. Well, the temperatures are falling, but will they hit freezing tonight, Karen?
No, I think we're safe along those lines. As a matter of fact, we have southwesterly winds, and you know, our warming trends are getting shorter and shorter. Look for a one-day warm-up. I'll have the details. Mark?
Karen, coming up in sports, the Gophers find the competition a little tougher as they open up the Big Ten schedule, and baseball's big series in Detroit will go down to the season's final game.
Plus, you'll find out about Soundstage 87, a showcase for high-tech equipment in both video and audio. More than 1,000 people took a look at it today. And later on in this newscast, we'll also take a look at the problems that Big Mouth the beluga whale had at the Minnesota Zoo and how he's overcome them with some help from SeaWorld.
U.S. Swim & Fitness, $24 a month for 18 months. That's $24 a month at U.S. Swim & Fitness.
Isn't it time you got your act together? Dr. Christy Klett, Mayo Graduate School of Medicine.
Dr. Donnell Etzweiler, Yale Medical School.
In Minnesota, only 2 clinics have brought together so many doctors trained by so many great medical schools.
Dr. Dominic Corbuy, Johns Hopkins.
Dr. Don Jacobs, U of M.
Dr. Robert Christensen.
One is the Mayo Clinic.
Dr. Earl Young, Harvard.
The other, Park Nicollet Medical Center, the other great clinic in Minnesota.
They're not ready to call him cured yet, but experts at SeaWorld in San Diego say Big Mouth, the beluga whale, is doing very well. You'll remember that 5 months ago, the Minnesota Zoo sent its whales to SeaWorld because of Big Mouth's poor health. Now Jackie Renner reports things are looking up.
Anyone could see signs of Big Mouth's deteriorating health before he left the Minnesota Zoo. The zoo's veterinarian diagnosed him as terminally ill and recommended euthanasia. The zoo's director opted instead to send the whales to SeaWorld.
It's important to remember, however, that we believe that prognosis is poor and we are not holding out for any miracles.
But the miracle Roberts didn't dare hope for may have happened. In the past 5 months, most of Big Mouth's skin lesions have mended, and SeaWorld maintains radiographs show his bone infection is also healing. In his new home, the whale appears well on the road to recovery.
See him now as active and enjoying life as he is, obviously, and to see him doing as well, that's a thrill for us.
When the whales came here in April, SeaWorld characterized Big Mouth's prognosis as guarded at best. In the past 5 months, he appears to have made a remarkable recovery, and that raises questions about what went wrong in Minnesota. A recent report found there were high levels of chlorine in the whale's tank at the Minnesota Zoo. That chlorine may have had an impact on Big Mouth's health.
I was very surprised when I found out that water quality was the issue. I had no idea that water quality would have been the problem. As was everybody else around here, surprised. I don't think anyone had considered that chlorine could have been the culprit.
Big Mouth and Little Girl now swim in natural seawater, joined by 4 dolphins, and Big Mouth continues to receive antibiotics. Despite his progress, the Minnesota Zoo isn't rushing to get the whales back. The zoo's director says it could be a year before a committee decides whether to ask SeaWorld to send the belugas home. In San Diego, for the Eyewitness News Update, I'm Jackie Renner.
Well, the next attraction at the zoo may be insects. It's just one of the proposals a zoo committee is looking at. The exhibit would have bugs from around the world, such as scarab beetles, leaf-cutting ants, and honeybees. Well, electronics is the big attraction this weekend in Chanhassen. Exhibitors of the latest in high-tech equipment in the music field have gathered at Soundstage 87. It's billed as the Upper Midwest's most important trade exhibition and conference for the industry.
I think what you've got going on here is the industry is showing the unity that they've got created here in serving their customers and their clientele.
McGraw says about 1,000 people toured the exhibits at Prince's Paisley Park Studios in Chanhassen. More than 3,000 trade people are expected by the end of the weekend. Imagine turning on your favorite radio station and hearing the same song played over and over for 7 hours straight. That's just what listeners of a radio station in Sylvester, Georgia heard from an unhappy disc jockey. He didn't like it when the station decided to change formats from country and western to solid gold rock and roll, so he played Bob Seger's That Old-Time Rock and Roll over and over. Because he had what the station calls a dream contract, the station couldn't fire him. So when the DJ came to work the next day, the first song he played was Take This Job and Shove It. Well, a very crisp fall day today. We'll hear just how crisp it'll be tomorrow from Karen Falloon in a bit. Plus, see where you can take all those leaves you raked up in the yard today. That's next. And we'll also go on the road again with Jason Davis to Duluth for an inspirational story.
The word is spreading faster than a prairie fire. Cattle Company is serving their famous prime rib, slowly roasted and carved to order. Everyone's jumping at the chance to treat all their friends to a complete dinner, with a steaming baked potato and a fresh garden salad. But don't fight over the check because it's all for just $7.95. Only at Cattle Company. Oh yeah, you might want to think about reservations.
Once again, Ricky D.
Thank you, thank you. Baby, it's such a gas. Loving a guy like me with such class.
Chorus.
Eddie, what happened? It just broke.
Hey, big shot. You better get that thing fixed, or you're through.
Eddie, what are we going to do?
Ricky, you got the record player at Highland, right? They got their own service department right in the store.
Only Highland has its own expert service department right in the store. So if you ever have a problem, Highland can fix it fast.
Lather, you're so impressed with my charm, good looks, and finesse. You love me, and I love me too. Hey!
You know it's fall when the temperatures start dropping, the birds start flying south, and you start hearing this. Yes, it's that sweet sound of rakes hitting leaves. It happened all over the Twin Cities today on this crisp Saturday afternoon, and we should see a lot more tomorrow. If you find yourself with a rake in your hands, you might want to know about a phone number that'll tell you where in Ramsey County you can leave your leaf piles. You can call 633-1204, and they'll tell you about 8 compost sites that'll be taking leaves from 9 to 5 tomorrow. You been out there with your rake yet, Karen?
No, I was lucky in that wind the other day. They're all next door.
It did take care of a lot of that, didn't it?
Yes, it did. Well, it's going to get windy again tomorrow, and then windier still on Monday. I'll have that in just a minute. Let's start out with this morning. Record low temperatures this morning across the upper Midwest. It was in the mid-20s over parts of Iowa. Spencer dropped to 24 degrees this morning. Sioux Falls dropped to 25. Dubuque, Iowa, 27. Duluth and Eau Claire both had 24 degrees this morning. Here in the Twin Cities, it was 29. That beat the old record by 2 degrees. It's not going to be that cold tonight. With mostly clear skies, the winds are out of the south, and they'll continue south to southwest all night long. That will mean slightly warmer temperatures. Tonight's overnight lows will be anywhere from 43 to 47. Waking up tomorrow, clear skies, and 48. And then the rest of the day on Sunday, it'll be mostly sunny. Southerly winds will continue. They'll be increasing to about 15 to 25 miles an hour, and the temperatures tomorrow afternoon will be 76 to 81 degrees. Right now, we have clear skies, 49, the dew point 27, the relative humidity 42%. Winds are out of the south at 12 miles an hour, and the pressure is falling. Our high temperature this afternoon was 62 degrees, that after the low of 29, and no precipitation. Well, now, we had record cold to start out the morning. Temperatures were rather chilly this afternoon across the Great Lakes region, but in the desert southwest, temperatures were up over 100 degrees. In fact, they had record high temperatures. San Diego, it hit 104, and Los Angeles, downtown, hit 108 degrees. 80-degree temperatures felt all the way into the northern Rockies and south-central Canada, and some of this heat is headed our way tomorrow. That ahead of a cool front, which should be moving through the metro area between 6 and 7 o'clock right now, is the way it looks tomorrow evening. And so out ahead of that system, the winds will be increasing and the temperatures will be rather warm. But then another change is coming, because once that front comes through, it will get cooler again. Now, satellite pictures show that front is on schedule. It's now pushing with some cloudiness through the northern Rockies, should be into the western Dakotas by sunrise. And as you can see on satellite pictures, we had nary a cloud. We had nothing but blue skies today. After that record cold start, we had plenty of sunshine, so although the temperature hit 62 degrees, and that is a little below normal, it didn't feel too bad with all the sunshine. Well, now, northern Minnesota tomorrow, we'll see that front first. Increasing clouds, showers in the forecast, temperatures in the 70s. Southern Minnesota, plenty of sunshine with temperatures in the 70s, and Wisconsin will have the same weather, and temperatures will be in the lower 70s for highs tomorrow. Looking ahead, we have variable cloudiness with a few showers in the forecast for Monday and Tuesday, and then Wednesday and Thursday, it's back to partly cloudy. Now, these will be widely scattered showers with this front. As you might tell, it's rather dry out there right now, and there's just not really enough time to get a big return of moisture, so the showers will be scattered, widely scattered.
Tomorrow sounds great, the temperatures.
Yes.
All right, Karen, thanks. Still ahead in sports, the Tigers take the edge in the battle to see who faces the Twins in the playoffs. And the football Gophers open the Big Ten season against Purdue at the Dome. Mark Stevens has it all next on Eyewitness Sports.
New Chicken Little.
New Chicken Little.
New Chicken Little.
You taste so very nice.
Oh, wow.
love your 11 herbs and spices and your little 39-cent price. I found you at Kentucky Fried Chicken. And little darling, you taste so grand. I love to hold you in my hand. New Chicken Little sandwiches. You cost just a little, but people love you a lot.
All right, I'll be honest with you. When I first hit town, everyone was a little bit skeptical. Everyone thought that there was no way the Twins could win the West. Right. It may be a little bit quiet and deserted in here right now, but it won't be for long. Man, am I glad I came here. Congratulations, guys.
They say no one in the entire world is as important to them. They've stuck by them in the hard times and the good times. They're there the first thing in the morning, and when they close their eyes at night, they're still there. On the next Oprah Winfrey Show, we're going to meet people who love and trust their pets more than any friend or relative. People who would choose their pets over human beings any day of the week on the next Oprah Winfrey Show.
Monday afternoon at 4 on Channel 5.
The undefeated Gophers had a good night tonight at the Dome, huh?
Oh, you say that with a little extra. The undefeated Gophers. The first three were more like little quizzes, and they passed all three easily. Tonight, the Gophers took their first major test of the year, and although they passed, I wouldn't exactly say it was with flying colors. The Gophers did all their scoring tonight in the first half, then hung on to beat Purdue 21-19 in their Big Ten opener. The Boilermakers scored on their first drive, but the Gophers came right back. First quarter, Ricky Foggy goes here to Ed Penn. He's going to take it 45 yards down inside the Purdue 10. From there, Darrell Thompson did all the work. DT will go in from 6 yards out to tie the game. On the night, Thompson rushed for 101 yards. The Gophers' second touchdown was set up by a punt return. This is Chris Gators, and watch him go. Chris will take it 49 yards all the way back to the Purdue 33-yard line. That set up a 1-yard Foggy touchdown. It was 14-7 Gophers in the second, and watch this effort by Foggy. He gets to the outside, watch him hurdle a tackle, and take it 24 yards for the touchdown. That made it 21-7 Gophers. Purdue chipped away at the lead thanks to 3 Gopher fumbles, but Minnesota's defense held on when it had to. The Gophers are 4 for 4 in 87. They beat Purdue tonight. The final again, 21-19. Earlier today in the Big Ten, Michigan State pulled off an upset. The Spartans beat 17th-ranked Iowa 19-14. Lorenzo White rushed for 166 yards and a touchdown, but it was Michigan State's only pass in the second half that proved to be the difference. Bobby McAllister, 8 yards for Mike Sargent. The Spartans upset number 17, Iowa 19-14. The Hawkeyes are 3-2. The Spartans are 2-2. Meanwhile, in Ann Arbor today, Michigan ran over Wisconsin with senior tailback Jamie Morris doing most of that running. Morris rushed for 154 yards and 3 touchdowns in the first half alone. He finished with 182 overall as Michigan steamrolled Wisconsin. The final again, 49-0. Also in the Big Ten today, Ohio State just gets by Illinois, and Indiana does away with Northwestern. Elsewhere, top-ranked Oklahoma rolled again today. So what else is new? Jamel Holloway hits Anthony Stafford here for the touchdown. That was one of 3 TDs for Stafford. The Sooners rolled up nearly 600 yards in total offense. They destroy Iowa State, 56-3. In Tallahassee, Florida, Steve Walsh of St. Paul rallied third-ranked Miami to a win over Florida State. Walsh threw 3 TD passes in the fourth quarter. This one to Michael Irvin was the big one. It was the difference. Miami comes back to beat fourth-ranked Florida State, 26-25. Second-ranked Nebraska came from behind and beat South Carolina. Number 6 Auburn by 10 over North Carolina. In the fourth, number 7 LSU over number 19 Florida. Tennessee handles California. UCLA is a shutout winner. Number 14 Penn State by a couple of touchdowns over Temple. And Texas Tech surprises Texas A&M 27-21. Oregon upsets Washington 29-22. Number 17 Alabama rolls, and Georgia beats Mississippi. Local college football, Concordia manhandled Augsburg this afternoon. This is a second quarter touchdown pass from Dan Kalatichuk to Kevin Heidemann. It was just part of a potent offensive attack. For Concordia today, they beat Augsburg 56-3. Also, local winners today include Hamlin over St. Thomas. Carleton takes care of McAllister. Gustavus over St. Olaf. And North Dakota beats St. Cloud State 16-13. The Saturday night specials, there's no hope for Hope. They lose to Findlay. And let's hear it for Binkley's alma mater. Kansas beats Southern Illinois, the first win of the year for the Jayhawks. Maybe Southern Illinois will use their varsity players next year instead of the JV. All of the returns aren't in yet, but Detroit certainly is now the front runner in the race to play the Twins for the American League Championship. The Tigers, who a week ago were 3.5 games back, took a one-game lead on the Blue Jays with a game to play, beating the Bluebirds for the second straight game. Today's final was 3-2. Fifth inning, games tied at 1. Nelson Liriano with the base hit here. That'll bring in Manny Lee. Toronto took the lead at that point, 2-1. But in the bottom of the inning, the Motowners tie it up off the bat of Mike Heath. He goes to the opposite field. It's a double. It'll send home Tommy Brookins with the equalizer. 2 apiece till the 12th. Alan Trammell's smash with the bases loaded goes right through substitute shortstop Manny Lee's legs. The Tigers win their third straight 3-2. The Jays lose their sixth in a row overall. Now, the formula is simple. If Detroit wins tomorrow, they're in. And they'll open the playoffs against the Twins Wednesday at the Metrodome. If Toronto wins tomorrow, that means there'll be a playoff on Monday at Tiger Stadium. I'll be in Detroit tomorrow and the next day, if necessary, with live reports as the Twins' postseason partner is decided. Now, the Twins played another uninspired one tonight in Kansas City. Their fourth straight loss since clinching the West. Danny Tartable got his 5th homer of the year off of Twins pitching. This one an inside the Parker in the 5th inning. It's his 34th of the season. Twins lose it tonight 4-2, despite out-hitting KC 7-4. The same pair finish the regular season tomorrow afternoon at Royal Stadium. Now, while the Twins continue to get ready for the postseason, the North Stars continue their preseason. Tonight at the Met Center, they lost to Chicago 4-1. Good start for the Stars. First period, watch number 23. That's Brian Bellows. He scores the goal for Minnesota, but was the only one they got tonight. They lose it 4-1. Same two teams will play an exhibition game at Chicago tomorrow night. One of the North Stars note tonight, defenseman Brad Maxwell has called it quits. He retires after 10 seasons in the NHL. A high school football score to give you of note. Top-ranked Apple Valley upset by Bloomington Jefferson 15-7.
Okay, Mark, thanks very much. Some pretty athletic dancers are inspiring crowds in Duluth these days. You'll find out about the inspirations when Jason Davis goes on the road again next on the Eyewitness News Update.
Once again, Ricky D.
Thank you! Baby, it's such a gas.
Eddie, what are we going to do?
Don't worry.
Only Highland has an expert service department right in the store, so we'll fix your problem fast.
Lover, you love me, and I love me too. Hey!
It's a big part of the American dream, the anticipation, excitement, and joy of buying your own home. But fluctuating interest rates can affect that dream. Now, a free call to the CityLine Mortgage Rate Hotline can help make home buying a dream come true. As a home buyer, you need to know the loan rates today, and CityLine can help.
Welcome to the Mortgage Rate Hotline, brought to you as a service to the public.
How much will a home loan cost today? The answer is a free phone call away to CityLine.
I'm Steve Edelman.
I'm Sharon Anderson.
How would you say I look different off the air?
Oh, well, I always tell people that you're taller off camera, and your eyes are much bluer off camera.
Bluer.
And,
Thinner.
yeah, thinner, right.
More powerful.
More powerful, right.
Sexier.
Yeah,
Newman-like.
Robert or Alfred E.
They have it all: glamour, poise, talent, and above all, experience. They're a unique group of entertainers called the Inspirations that Jason Davis found when he went on the road again to Duluth.
About 30 years ago, I retired from dancing. And I sat in Duluth and vegetated for a few years. So I started with an exercise class. And I hate to exercise. And so I thought, I've got to dance.
Boniface now works with about a dozen women that call themselves appropriately the Inspirations.
I just love it. It just makes me feel good and it keeps me fit.
And I danced under Mildred Eaton, who I understand later taught Shirley Temple. Once a dancer, always a dancer.
It doesn't really work. We're not working hard. We're having fun. Really, this is not work.
We're looking out there while we're dancing and seeing the happy faces, and we're giving something and we're receiving something from them.
I was a Rockette, Radio City, 1932 when it opened.
They aren't as young as they were, but they haven't forgotten the steps. This lineup has over 600 years of experience between them.
To be dancing in my 70s is such a benefit in my life, you know, because who can say you're a chorus girl and 72 years old?
Jason Davis with photographer Tim Jones on the road again, Duluth, Minnesota.
That's just great. Everybody has a good time or something like that.
Looks like it.
Not going to be quite as cold tonight, you say?
No, temperatures tonight, although we have clear skies, our winds are out of the south, and that will make a difference. 45 for a low tonight. And then tomorrow, mostly sunny, warmer. Winds will be out of the southwest, 15 to 25 miles an hour. Temperatures will be in the upper 70s.
All right, Karen, and tomorrow on Eyewitness News, a look back on the merger of Northwest and Republic after 1 year. Dave Andrews gives us a story. And on this week's Through the Lens feature, you'll go behind the camera with photographer Russ Brown as he looks at a Northeast Minneapolis tradition. And that'll do it for us. Thanks for watching. Good night.
Barry Bostwick and Kim Darby star in Summer Girl, tonight's 5-star feature. And now, tonight's movie.